Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.
So I also record this session. So this session will be recorded so we can post it on our website.
Okay.
So what your expectation of this session?
I just gotta grab some paper.
Sure. Shamir, what is your expectation of this session?
Oh, I'm just being a sponge today and learning. So, like us, you've got me thinking along the ebook. I want to definitely not ebook. I think this is an ebook thing, right? Your session, but I'm thinking
this is supposed to be a working group on a topic. So when I launched the topics, I launched them through the process of the 12 steps. The 12 steps to brand mastery.
Yeah.
So luckily, this was ebook time,
Yeah, no, that's fine. I like the idea because I think in my mind, ebooks are essentially lead magnets. So to me, I am looking for some thoughts around ebooks to use as a lead magnet so that I can funnel them into my program. I could then eventually funnel them into a book that I've got in my head swirling around, that kind of stuff.
Yep. Okay. Joel, what's your expectation from today? What's your goal of joining today?
I think it would be or will be interesting just to learn more on the ebook. I don't know if I'll personally be writing a book, but it's good to understand the process and the thoughts behind it.
Okay. Hi, Kevin. How are you?
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
So what's your expectation, Kevin, from today?
Just to learn and work.
Learn and work. Okay. Hi, Mariana. Mariana? Okay. So, Mike, is there any particulars you'd like to see today? Any expectation, any goals of today?
No, just want to learn from the inputs of all the people in the training.
Okay, and I would basically leave the microphone on, so you guys can talk at any time. And if we have so many noise, we can basically cut it down in a way or another. So I'm not muting anybody. Mariana. So I see Mariana, but I cannot hear her. So as Joel was saying, he wants to understand the strategy, and he doesn't foresee that he will write any books. So the idea is not about you write a book, Joel. The idea is how can you establish credibility and authority in a field, so individuals will come to you and see you as a point of reference.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
So quite often, when a small companies will start as technology companies, they will come with research background, with publications, with different material. And this material will allow audience to give them credibility.
Yeah.
We in the area of training or coaches or consultants, we don't have any similar activities to show why people should come to us. So the principle of a book or an e-book, you don't have to write it. You can actually adopt it, or you can get somebody in your organization to put the material together. The understanding is the information selling process, which basically selling you as expert who is providing information. You should be able to demonstrate that you have the knowledge, you have the information, because there are so many noise out there. And how can you stand out within this noise without like to be able to charge what you can charge people at.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so if we understand the concept of general audience, customers, and consumers, and this kind of chain, how we can attract these individuals at the early stage, in particularly online. So online, you need to collect emails, and although it's a great technology, but unfortunately there is no place to put notes there, here or there. So, so online, in my mind, the marketing aspects or the conversion of customers has to happen in two different parallel ways. One way is in person. So in person, you go to a meeting, you go to event, you leave your business card, you talk. Even when you go on Facebook or in LinkedIn and you create a conversation with someone, and then you invite them to your event or you invite them to see a webinar, this is still in person. You have the person touch. That's right. Do you agree?
Yes.
So the alternative way is to do the conversion online, which basically I will make advertisement or I will share material where individuals will be interested to read, to download, and from this point, I will be able to share, to give these individuals access to some knowledge, so they know I am expert. So they are signing up in my mailing list, or they are signing up to watch my videos and webinars. And from the videos or webinars, I can take them to the next step. So the conversion online is completely different than the conversion in person.
Yes.
So if you establish a communication with someone in this context, we label it in person. Like even if the conversation, like I have individuals in New Zealand, in Australia, in the Middle East, in Europe, I talk to them virtually. I never met them in person. I'm following them. They are following me. And when I offer them a purchase, it's me offering them. This is called in person because I'm engaged. The alternative is to do some of the conversion steps, not maybe all, but some of them, to do them online first. And in this way, you will need what we call it lead magnet. And if you understand the general audience, target audience, lead prospects, if you want to convert audience to lead, you need a magnet. So one of the common lead magnets are technical reports or ebooks.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys? You should be able to participate, my friends, okay? I'm not, it's not a one-man talk, okay?
Got it.
Okay. So,
I agree.
yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Okay. So what is the format of an ebook you can provide? And what's the difference between an ebook and a Kindle offer? So Kindle offer or Amazon online offer is basically you go to Kindle and download after purchasing or after having a special account access. So if you go to Kindle and even if the book is for free, you do still have to sign up with your Amazon username and password. So Kindle approach is not a reasonable ebook for lead magnet, because if I ask somebody who's my audience to convert to lead by downloading a Kindle book, and they have to go to Kindle Amazon portal, and they supposed to now to figure out what's their username and password. I personally don't remember all my username and passwords. So do you believe they will take the extra 2 steps to access your Kindle, and then the book will go to their Kindle reader and then they read it? So the immediate answer is will defocus them from signing up for your mailing list. Secondly, the having the information with Amazon as a username and password on Amazon will prevent me from getting access to their email or their phone or their name, which is the very first pieces of material I want to get to, because this now are leads. So using Kindle or as an ebook dangling step, it may not be an ultimate or a best solutions in the area of lead magnet, or how to use this as a lead magnet. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, before we proceed, you remember there is a chat line here. So if someone has a questions, please write them down in the chat line. Like there is a chat room. So if you have questions, and everybody will see the chat room. So if you have questions, I'll just put hello here, so you got access to the chat box.
Hey, Wael.
Yes. Yes, Kevin.
So I heard you say Amazon is not good for business?
I'm not saying Amazon is not good for business. What I'm saying is, number one, the idea of an ebook as a lead magnet, that it convert general and audience who are reading your website, who are reading your material, who are following you, to provide you an email or a phone number and or a name.
Okay.
So you will be able to communicate with them and create them and to convert them to be prospects to buy your product or come to your event. So in this particular scenario, having a Kindle book as an ebook will not do it, because if I show you the landing page or I will show you the entry to access the Kindle book, the audience or at that level, they have to put extra information on Amazon portal so they can access your Kindle book. That's right.
Oh.
So Kindles will also download the book to their Kindle app. So if I'm on a Facebook and see an advertisement for a free ebook on let's call it leadership, or a free ebook on a difficult management time, will you believe that audience will take 2-3 steps to access this ebook?
Yeah.
Not necessary. Moreover, if you give the information to Amazon, you need their email and their username and password. So if you give them the access through Amazon, there is no justification why do you need their email and phone numbers and or their name. Okay. So if we look at the online track and or the online route and how we can access this information, an ebook is a potential. So you can market an ebook, and people, when they download the ebook, they become to be a lead. And then out of your chain of conversion, how will you deal with these leads?
So now we control the future touches, right?
Yeah, and now we can control the future touches.
Right.
So the beauty of this particular status and this particular line is we will be able to we shall be able to use different tactics to convert between general audience, lead, whatever after that. So if the tactic right now, I have a general, I have audience, I have individuals coming to my website, my social media, my Facebook, my material, and these individuals would like to see, I would like to see, to know their information, I will use what's called lead magnet. And one of the lead magnet will be an ebook. And the reason for using it is basically to get their email, username, and password. Any questions? Okay.
Thanks for answering, man. Thank you.
Okay. So the question now is, what is an ebook look like? Or how can I create an ebook? Do I have to write an ebook? So based on what Joel was saying, he doesn't like to write. You have no mandate to write an ebook. However, you can adopt an ebook from someone. or you can buy an ebook, but you do need an ebook.
Okay.
Okay, does this
Yep.
make sense?
Yep.
Now,
Yeah.
what is the format of an ebook? The electronic format. Most likely, it will be a PDF file or a portable document format, which basically the smallest size of this is the smallest size of a file can be shared among individuals.
Yeah.
Okay. The other question will be is what is the length of this potential book?
I don't know.
How long can this book be?
Doesn't have to be that long. It just has to be long enough to prove that you're the expert, long enough that they'll want to ask you questions and go further in depth in the conversation with you.
Excellent. This is exactly true. So it has to be only as long as you can be. So we've seen ebooks are in the area of the size of 8 pages, and we have been seeing ebooks are the size in the 45 pages.
Okay. Yeah, that's small.
Okay. So if I
Is that a good rule of thumb, 5 to 45?
yes, the majority of the books we have been seeing are either 5 or 45. So somewhere in between. And some of the ebooks are actually PowerPoint presentation who have been converted to a PDF file. So some of the many ebooks we see right now, they come as a PowerPoint presentation, and this PowerPoint presentation will be just a PDF file for convenience. So when we convert it to PDF, it will be only for convenience. So if you see the image in front of you, you remember this image in particular, this sequence, that's right?
Correct.
So it's called lead magnet, which basically here around lead, I want to get somebody from being general audience or audience or target audience following me to be a lead magnet, to give me his information, so I will be able to communicate and exchange information later on. So if you visualize this sequence and you remember this sequence of different individuals, when they stuck into lead as magnetized as a lead, now they become a lead, which basically you have their information, you know their interest, and you know why they download this particular ebook. So having an ebook against having a report or having an infograph, which all of them are legitimate lead magnet, somebody will spend more or not spend, like when I download an ebook, you have a justification to ask for more. So if I give you a report or an infograph, which is a very long image describing a process, I usually ask for your email. When I put an ebook together and I ask you to download your ebook, I can get your name, your first name and last name, your email, your phone number. I can also ask you a question because it's a bigger piece of material.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so it can be a PowerPoint presentation, and you can convert it to a PDF. It can be a version of your ebook, of your actual book, and some examples we have been using it as it will be an assertion of your book. So you can go and say, I have book chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. And then the rest of them, people has to come back for the workshop or for the training. Or the rest of them, people will have to buy it, or any of the above.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
So the ebook concept is not, it shall not be difficult. Now, what are the content of, or what is the title of an ebook?
I don't know.
What is a good title for an ebook?
Something that addresses a problem.
something there's a problem. So can you spend like 2 minutes and write down on your notes or on your computer what could be a title for your ebook?
Three ways to not pay CRA.
So, yeah, or the guide. The guide of not to pay CRA. That's right.
Yeah.
Sandy, what could be an ebook in a title in your arena?
Overcome the fear of singing or speaking in public.
Yeah, overcome the fear, or it can be overcome, or it can be the guide. Remember, individuals who are not interested in a method. They are interested in systems, step-by-step process, a guide. So, and this comes from the background of marketing, like what you can sell. You can sell a system, a strategy, a step-by-step program, a methodology, not in a solution.
Oh, okay.
Because they always fear that they will not be able to do it. Majority of them, if this is a serious problem for them, they would try so many other alternatives and none of them will work. And for sure, with my particular topic, everybody has a CRA relationship after being 18 years old. That's right. So it has to be a guide. It's recommended to be a guide or a system or a process. So you guide them. It can be also the 10 tips or the 10 steps or some kind of steps. So you can organize the ebook as 7 chapters, 10 chapters as step 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And please, if you have more insights or more discussions, I see so many individuals have been joining, even like Raveen and Tom, which may not be known for everybody. However, like, please, feel free to jump into the discussion. It's not, as I said, it's not one man talking, okay? Who else wants to share a possible title for their ebook?
Oh, Praveen just put one in the chat. That looks good.
The 3 keys to great relationships. Okay. So this actually looks nice. Some other contributions?
Unlock the secrets of your chakras.
The secret of your chakras. So if I go back, and this will come back to, okay, we can do this discussion right now. If I go back to this particular image, so this is the image of how we can funnel audience. That's right. Does anyone has a question on this particular image? Do you remember? You remember this chart? That's right. And even for Claude, who is not here yet, I actually have the actual writing. So that's why I kept this particular chart. So he doesn't complain. This is only symbols. The question will be to Mariana. Do you expect your general, your audience to know about the chakras, or even to recognize chakras as a possible term in their life? Because remember, your ebook is targeting GAAT to bring them as a lead.
So is it already a target audience that it is targeting?
You target any of the 3 levels.
Uh-huh.
So if you come and say the secret for your chakras,
I said unlock the secrets of your chakra.
Yeah, well, that's okay if you know what your audience is. That's what he's meaning is, like, I thought chakra and shamu were two whales. I didn't know chakra was something else. So I just pass over it, right? Like, I didn't know what a chakra was before I met you.
Yeah.
So you just narrowed down your audience to maybe, I don't know, 10, 15% of your readership. Whereas if you want to draw me in to say, I want to know what a chakra is, you have to put in another term, which is intriguing to me to want to read your ebook.
Okay, well, come up
So
with
don't use the word chakra, use something else which will prompt me to want to know more about a subject without using the word chakra. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. My question is it you know, like, maybe I want to go already to that particular audience.
And this is, and as I said, this is a definition of who are your audience and who are your general. Because if I wanna, you have to be careful with this definition, because if you would like to get somebody who understands chakras already, most likely they will have a service provider or somebody else to deal with these issues along the chakras definition. So you are now competing with their current suppliers or with their current providers. However, if the title of the ebook is generic enough to attract individuals who has a problem and they don't know the root cause of chakras, the title has to match these individuals' interests. So it's up to your definition. Who are your audience and who are your general?
Okay, so do you have a suggestion?
Maybe the 3 ways for happy life, or I don't know. You guys can provide some.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tom here has said 5 ways to feel healthy from inside out.
Okay.
So I might click on it thinking it might be a diet or some sort of cleanse, and I find out, oh, what's this chakra thing? I mean, I don't have to swallow any juices or anything like that, and it could be something else that I can, maybe move towards. So that's one way to kind of grab my attention.
Or if we augment the word happy, so 5 ways to feel healthy and happy from inside out. Maybe happiness also will add to the other emotional side. So it will not only be a nutrition, it's most likely have the other something else.
Or how about power centers, or something that will broaden the audience to those that want more power?
The perception is you have an audience who don't know about your service, and you would like to get them into a blue ocean outside the other competitors. So will you be attracted to a power centered or explore your power centers?
Your secret superpowers.
Yeah, this is your secret superpower is a generic enough. But if you talk about power centers and someone competing, we have this discussion because my understanding that each one of us is very strong in what we do, and we have our own ego, which basically reflects. Like, when I don't want to pick up on specific names, but when somebody come and say, for example, an acronym or a specific name, and someone else out on the other side of the room say, oh, I don't know about that, or I never heard before, or I believe it's something else, we get offended because we believe like, oh, these guys are not living with us on the planet. Like, I had this situation, like when I go to a community and talk about specific law of transformation and different belief systems, and people do not accept it, and sometimes they make fun of me, I feel they are not living with us in the planet. So our general, and I use the term general to identify the stages of your potential customers. because your general is supposed to be people who you don't know. Similar example, if you remember my discussion around when I went back to the university and they had this interaction. So in a university setting in Faculty of Engineering, in energy and the healing doesn't have a part. In accounting school, in marketing schools and business schools and science schools, energy doesn't have a part. People did not recognize it yet. It's only when you face your real life and you realize that there are needs the medicals will not be able to give you, and you need to center and align yourself from inside out. You will realize that there are other belief system has to support you. That's right. So if I focus on what I know, I am not looking for my audience, for my general, sorry. I'm looking for my surrounding to read my ebook. When somebody came and told me like, oh, what do you mean you have a session at 3 hours or 2 hour session on ebook? I said the session is not about how to write an ebook. It's just to put some fruitful thoughts in front of you that describe how we can pick up this title. And I believe if you shift your mind in this way, you will be able to reflect on everything else, like marketing material, websites, everything else, even your talk with your individuals. So if somebody will come to me and say, I'm feeling down, I'm not happy, I not feel healthy, we don't tell them, you just basically take vitamins or take antidepressant. We tell them you have to release the pain, release the packages, the pain, the barriers in your brain. That's right. And we are saying this is only here. 10 years ago, each one of us, or 20 years ago, each one of us will go to antidepressant, will go to vitamins, because we believed that milk is a source of calcium, which is not true. We believe that fat is the source of obesity, which is not true. It became now sugar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the 7 ways. I like the comment, the 7 ways to feel happy and healthy from the inside out. And what I like about this particular title, it tells me how many chapters I will see in the ebook. So can anybody guess how many chapters you can see in the ebook? Roughly
7.
At least 7, that's right. And you can also have an introduction. You can also have a summary or final thoughts or what's next. So you will have, and the title Shamir is putting down, Why I Divorced My Physician, is actually a great title too, because this is position you as somebody has the experience, did it before. However, this also only will resonate with somebody. Don't trust physicians. Because if you trust physicians and you keep going to the medical doctors, you will not be able to, I will not read the, okay, Shamir. Remember, when you contribute to the group, we have no copyright, right? Like, anyway, it's okay. So the point of why I divorced my physician is you are targeting audience and general who are sick and tired from going to physicians. That's right. If somebody does not see a problem with the physician, he will not download this book. So when you come up with the title, and you understand very well that the title doesn't have any relationship with the content. You can have a content and you can have 20, 30, 40 different titles, which will be very relevant to the same content. That's right. Like 7 ways to happy, to feel happy or to live happy and healthy from the inside out. It can be the techniques to feel happy. It can be the feeling happy and healthy from inside out. It can be, you can actually craft 20, 30, 40 different titles on just a 9, 10 chapters, which include way 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, introduction, and final thoughts or a summary, or what's next. Okay? Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so any other input? I don't know how I have to stop sharing so I can see that. Any other inputs on your own? Like Kevin, do you have a specific title you want to share with the group?
Yeah, sure. What gang life
Is
taught
that
me?
cold at your house, my friend?
Huh?
Like I have a hoodie too. Oh yeah. Kevin, you are a pleasant to our group. You always bring fun with you.
Yeah, I have a title. It's how 3 ways gang life taught me to be a leader.
So who are your audience here?
Troubled youth.
Okay. So can you repeat the title again? Sorry.
3 ways gang life taught me how to be a leader.
Okay. Any input for Kevin title?
The first thing I thought of was a gang leader. The first thing I thought of was, do you want to, like, moved you into being a gang leader?
No, it's no.
Yeah. So, but that's the first thing I thought of. I think what you mean is as a, leader in, society or your group or, something more constructive, right? That's a great title. But I went down gang leader path.
Okay. Any other feedback for Kevin? Tom, do you have specific feedback for Kevin? Okay. So this also comes back to the same concept. If I go back to this individual chart, your assumption here is your G and A or target audience are individuals who are looking for to be a leader. Is this true?
Yeah.
Now, if I tell you your general is somebody walking down the street, does not recognize any leadership quality, does not recognize themselves as a leader, what could be the title? So if I come and say, find the leader in you, or are you the leader who doesn't know the test or the guide or the evaluation, or this can be a title of an ebook for somebody who will be wondering if they are leaders or not. Remember, if our audience understands the problem and they know the cause for it, they will take medication for it. I will always say the same example. If you have a headache, what you will do? You will take Tylenol. And if the Tylenol or Advil or any medications will not work, you will go to the doctor and the doctor will say there is something else which causing this headache or this pain in your head. Maybe eyesight issues, maybe other stuff which I don't want to elaborate on them more. But you understand, if I know I have a headache, I will go for a Tylenol. If I know I have a pain in my head or in my back of my head that I cannot treat, I will go to someone, or I will look for alternative solutions.
Yeah.
So you should consider this concept. Your general and your audience shall be characterized as individuals who you want to attract them or you want to get them into your market. Okay?
Thank you.
Anyone wants to share?
Yeah, I have a question. Because to a certain degree, can you already pre-qualify your audience? Because Kevin had the word gang in there. So I remember that he also was looking for young leaders. So can you pre-qualify in order to get your targeted audience rather than just addressing the general?
Anyone wants to contribute an answer? I have my own answer, but
something a little bit more positive might be lessons learned from gang life, right? Because I'm kind of understanding where your audience is, and some people think, oh, gang life is cool, or I've been running drugs or stuff like that, and I might be going down there, so that they're going to have a respect for people that are in that area. But what you're doing is you're trying to create a different message by hitting that audience and saying that's not the only option here. Am I getting that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what that's what I kind of hear. So I like the word gang life or gang experiences, something that because that's gonna hit them on the head and say I want to read more, and then when they start reading more, they might get a different understanding from your perspective and saying, hey, I didn't expect this, but I agree with Kevin, right? So I like, but conversely, the way it was worded, Sandy went down a totally different stream. Like, hey, I'm going to move up in the gang by doing this, this, and this. So,
all right,
make sense?
Yeah.
Good.
So keep it more positive.
Yeah, keep it more positive, but keep it intriguing too. So you want to say the right words that grab that audience. But then when they bring down the ebook and they start reading it, it's going, oh, wow, I didn't expect Kevin to go this route. That's different. But now they've all automatically taken a little bit of extra respect towards you because of where you've come from.
Yeah. So
now they feel like you're speaking to them, directly to them in their language, in their tone, because now that you're drawing from your own personal experiences. Yeah. As opposed to a social worker that's saying, hey, you know what? Drugs is bad. Alcohol is bad. Stop doing
it. True. Yeah. Thanks.
Any other contributions? Okay, so this is actually good. Okay, so coming back to this question of can it be? Yes, Tom, how are you?
I had my mic muted. I had to go get my hoodie on first before I could talk with Kevin. So I got that taken care of. But as a sample case here, I don't know, Kevin, at all what you do. And we've had this conversation, and I still don't know what you do. So that title, I'm not sure what it is. Maybe write it in the comments so I can see it. But oh, good, we got more hoodies going on. But help me understand what benefit you create or what problem you solve.
Man, the hoodie looks nicer on you. So I want to just point out one thing. So I have a chart in front of you here, which is, I'm not sure how many of you attended when we had this chart up. The perceptions or the expectation of the market right now is there are 3% of the potential target market for me are buying right now. There are 7% will buy at a certain point. There are 30% will buy when circumstances will change. 30% they are not aware of my service to consider it as alternative, and the 30% will say no for the sake of no, because it's me, because anything else, but they say no for the sake of no. And I know Marcel will jump in and say, but no doesn't mean no. Yes, but we assume in the market demography, there are no, which is saying no. Now, under this model, will I design my marketing to be captive to a specific audience. So individuals who are 3% buying right now, and these statistics came from purchasing vehicles and purchasing cars. So there are 33% of people in the market right now buying cars. So when you buy a car, you go to alternative shops, you go to alternative showrooms. There are 7% when they wake up in the morning, they will turn their car will not turn on. There are 7% of those will come, like these people will come later on and buy a car. And there are 30% when they have it changes. So if they get more kids, they will have a van. If they will make more money, they will buy a car, whatever it is. Okay, for me, I will never buy a van. You know, I don't believe in vans, and I don't want to send it to the universe. So I will be forced one day to own a van. Okay, but I don't like it. I drove it before. I don't like it. Okay, I don't like to buy vans. I like 4x4, bigger car. And there are 30% are not aware of this car, are not aware of this particular brand, are not aware like this brand can serve them. And there are 30% will say, I'm not buying this vehicle, whatever soever. Even if my dad will give it to me for free, I will not buy it. So if we understand this model and we come and say, who are you targeting? Are you targeting the 3% who are buying right now? Or are you targeting with your ebook the individuals who will come to buy from you later on? Or you are targeting the people that when circumstances will change, they will come to buy from you? Or you target the 30% who don't know about you, so they come to buy from you? So with Marcel's question is correct. Yeah, you can narrow down, you can make specifics. You can say, I would like to have individuals, I would like to characterize them, I would like to make sure the right individuals are coming to me. This means you are hitting here the 7% who will buy later. Because if somebody is shopping right now and buying, it's a bloody competitive. There are so many alternatives and you have to deal with them on the pricing.
But if I go and narrow it down by, let's say, the age bracket, I will target more than the 7%, right? So if I have in my title that I'm going for youth or for seniors, then I'm narrowing it down on my future target market. And within that target market, I still have the 400% range.
Yes, yes, yes. However, we come back from the second perspective and say, who are the decision makers and who are the influencers and who are the buyers, which we capture in this particular slide, and we talk about here. We talk about clients. So if I have clients here, and I hope I'm showing the right slide. If I have clients here, clients means individuals who are taking my service, not necessarily paying me money. So if I target youth only, the youth are the actual client. If the youth will pay for leadership, they will be the customer. If I'm selling alternative organization, the customer will be something else, and the parent who will be influential or supporting them to make a decision, will they or they will not read this particular title?
Yeah.
And I don't want to make it to sound complicated. Like I'm having two chart which is very familiar for individual from the last workshop. The other chart is the other one. It's another product, another workshop we did some time ago. So, but all these charts will be available to you on the chart deck on our website. So you'll be able to read it. And so the question is, are you targeting the current buyers or the people who will buy shortly, or you target people who are not aware of your service?
Mm.
In your case, leadership, it might not be confusing. People know leadership is leadership. But in Mariana's case, or energy healers or Heart Mass or any of the other practitioners, they may not be aware that even Heart Mass techniques or even BioWell techniques or even Psych-K techniques will take them into a better life. Okay? So they are shopping for other alternative medications based or other energy-related offers.
Hey, Will, can I see the chart again?
Which one?
The 3%, 20% or something.
You make me work hard, man. Yeah, you know what? It's just switching this sharing is very, yeah. So in this chart, what we say is 3% are currently in a buying mode. They buy right now. They are shopping. So these 3% who are shopping, you can attract them by lowering the price or providing extra value so you can attract them. These are the individuals, for example, are visiting the different shops or the different showrooms to buy a vehicle. 7% will buy shortly if they need a pain or if they know they will buy in a short period. 30% they will buy if their circumstances will change. And the 30% are not aware of your service. So your goal, in my understanding, is to sell to the 67%, not to the people who are saying no, not the people who are buying right now. But if you target your market and your sales effort in getting individuals from the 67% part, in this particular example, you will be able to show and you'll be able to convert them into buyers. Much easier than them comparing different services.
Can I jump in here a while?
Sure, go ahead, Tom.
Appreciate you asking me to join here. And I just wanted to point out that what Wyle's talking about is really significant. And the challenge is this. We see people out marketing and companies out marketing, and it's not a good example. Either one, it's big brands, which us as small business owners can't do that kind of marketing because it's just general mind share. And the second challenge is the rest of the marketing that small business owners are doing is a poor example. And what Wyle's done here is it's breaking it down into more granular and very specific areas to target. And that sweet spot in there, that 67, becomes the goal or the challenge for each of us as small business owners to dial in and get really specific so that people can comprehend and get the message and go, oh, I need Kevin's services. Oh, I need Sandy's services, or like whatever it is, they'll get it quickly because you only have a moment, a glance at a website or the handout that you gave them or a quick little chat you had when you're networking live. And unless you've got your message really dialed, you won't impact, and they won't turn their head and lean forward and go, yeah, I need what you've got, unless you're really specific.
Yep. And quite honest, if you talk to people who are not aware of your service or the value of what your product is, like as I said, I was saying the example last time, when I got into the stone business, I did not make sense to me, and then I had to buy a specific piece which has 9 stones in it because I was actually rewarding the speakers. He was doing an excellent job, like exactly how Selling from the Stage book will say. Everything he's doing, it was correct. So I felt this individual deserved buying the $200 or $300 chain. So when I got the bracelet from him, and when I used it, I found out it's impacted my behavior in a different way. And I was sharing more personal examples the other time. Till today, when I go around to my network, they don't understand because they are engineers. They don't understand the power of energy around us. When we had James and the other individuals, they talk about past life regressions and all kind of we call it woo stuff or woo practices. It works for individuals. There are individuals who are completely covered and they have a complete recovery. There are individuals that will not work for them. Like hypnosis will never work with me. I tried, I went so many stages because I have friends who are master hypnosis in Western Canada. They are the only 2 or 3 individuals who are doing it in Canada right now. I do know them. And it works. We've seen other people actually, they got hypnotized, but hypnosis will not work for me. So if I am not aware that hypnosis can overcome my pain point, and when somebody does a practice on me, and I can share also with you, like Roya had a pain in her teeth, and she was taking treatment. But when the pain came in and she's doing healing touch, she went to a friend, healing touch practitioners. She applied the technique on her. She was able to avoid pain relief medications. I seen this lady living with me here in the house. So do you believe that healing touch will work? Most of you guys around the table, not necessarily. Some of you, like who are dealing with this particular area, they know. So if I will focus not aware of the value of my service, which is potentially 30% of people who are in the target market, you should position your ebook to discuss it and explain to these individuals who are not aware of your service. Does it make sense?
Bottom 30%.
The bottom 30% are individuals who will say no for sake of no. So when you go around as a salesman or as somebody sending ebooks, your role is to segment or to sort individuals. Are there in the 3% bucket? They are in the 7% bucket. They are into the 30% buckets. And the ones who will say no for sake of no, you basically avoid dealing them. And the way we know the no is by them repeating the no 3 times. Like when we use the overcoming objection techniques, and if they say no 3 times, you basically don't feel bad, don't feel like, oh, I cannot sell, oh, nobody cares about what I do. No, what you have to understand is there are 30% of the target market will say no for sake of no, full stop.
Yeah, I misspoke. I drew a line to cut them off, and then the new bottom for me was that not aware of your service. So that's great, because that gets that specific message happening, which would be different from the next one up. I can't read your writing well, but if something will buy.
If circumstances will change, something they will buy.
Yeah, okay. That would be a different message. And if you're targeting 7%, it'll just tweak the nuances a little bit different. And if you don't get really specific, it's just that general big brand building, waste of money marketing instead of connecting with people.
And will come back to the definition in this particular slide. So if you cannot read my handwriting, you should come to my events, because this was written in live events, okay? So on the stage, okay, nobody comment on writing or grammar. So this will come here to the original question from Marcel. Is my general or my G here are which one of these? 7. If my general are the people who are not aware of my service, and I want to grab to be audience. If my general are the one who are currently buying right now, but not from me, the messages will change. The messages will, the ebooks titles or the blog titles will change. Does it make sense to you guys?
Mm-hmm.
And this comes back to Sandy example. So Sandy, when you mix public speaking and singing together, it's a complete different angle than what we talked about. Like explore your emotion and explain yourself by singing, or have a second level of stronger relationship by singing. That's right, or singing to your loved ones. Who are your target audience? Are people trying to find their purpose and build a better relationship and find their power, by singing to themselves and singing to their loved ones, or they are singers or individuals who have an interest in singing and they want to come and get coaching from you.
Right.
So if I switch back to this between these two individuals, two charts, I go back to this other chart, which is the 3, 7, 30, 30, 30. If I am not aware that singing is a technique to build a stronger connections or to discover myself from inside out or to express my feeling and release my pain, I'm not aware. So when your title will be singers, it will go to singers. It will not go to these individuals.
Right.
And this comes back to your personal definition of who are your audience, who are your general, who are your target audience. So now to put it back, we don't know which title will resonate better. So the way to do it is to run what we call it A/B testing. So you can have multiple titles. As I said, you can have an ebook, and the ebook can have 20, 30 different titles on the content. So you should run 1 or 2 or 3 campaigns. Each one has its own title, and you do the A/B testing. See which one will convert or which one will have more clicks.
I was just going to comment on that while is get specific and then test.
So explain yourself.
Well, just what you were saying is get some A/B testing on where you have a couple of different versions or a particular one that you're doing variations of, and then test out into your marketplace. I don't know whether it's on Facebook or it's an email campaign, or heck, just get out and talk to people, TTP, talk to people as you go to networking events and try little different catchphrases as you chat with people and see what people connect with, and that we call it in sales, knocks them in the lookers, like in the eyes, and then like they're, and they light up. I did that last week. I was at a networking event, a meetup, a marketing meetup, and I was talking with a fella, and I was trying to find where his pain was, and I threw out one, and then I threw out a second, and I threw out a third, and his eyes actually opened up, and his face and his body posture changed, and he sat up, and I thought, okay, there was the winner. That's the one. He didn't know I was doing that, but just in conversation, I was doing some spit testing of different versions of phrases to see what would ignite and connect with a person.
Yes and no. However, we are looking for general and audience who are in the online domain that we didn't have connection with them. Because at the very beginning, I'm not sure you joined or not at the time, I basically distinguish between 2 different pathways. One is the online domain, where I will need a name, an email, and maybe a phone number. The other pathway is in person. So even if I chat with somebody online, it's called in-person communication. So
Perfect.
I go to a specific event. In this specific event, I am audience for this event. So individuals around me are also targeted audience, because the reason for us to go to the same event is because we have similar interest. Okay, so like it's not agree or disagree. It's not like, it's just to qualify the discussions in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming to individuals who I want to attract them to my service. The 3, 7, 30% brackets will work, because these are individuals I don't have, they are not audience of mine, they don't know me, they don't have any interest. If I'm in a networking event and I'm practicing some of these titles, you have to be careful that you are already in front of audience. So the chakra example is good, because Mariana, if she stands in any of her events and she says the word chakra, there is no single individual there who will not know it. So these are people who are buying or will buy soon. These are 3 to 7%. When she comes out and talk to the general public, there are individuals who will not know chakra. Does it make sense?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Okay. Any more titles you individuals, you guys got aha moments you want to practice?
Well,
I just noticed, sorry, I just noticed that Shamir put one in there about boom, chakra boom. And I thought that was super cute. And I'm on my iPhone, so I don't know how to get to the chat box again. But Marianne, I just wanted to share that one with you because it actually made me laugh.
I know it's funny, but does it attract people?
I would read it.
I would.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but are you the ultimate customers of her?
No.
No, I'm not.
You know? And I have objection for the former gang member because it will deter the endorser. And this is just for you, Kevin. You know, we don't here tell anybody to do anything. We just basically bring the ideas, brainstorm about it, and you can do whatever you like. It's your business. But if you want to position it as a gang member or a former gang member, there is a good demographic of individuals who will need your help will basically not accept it.
How come?
You are basically, this title says that's former gang leadership secrets. So you are basically positioning gang member to be leaders, which is a complete different discussion. I don't want to hold it right now. Okay, I can talk to you one-on-one on it. So just be careful how you approach.
If it strikes a chord with your target audience, perhaps. But I think what I was saying is it'll alienate folks that you do actually want to sell to. Stigma, association, confusing. It's not clear.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and it's the same reason you don't have ebooks with the word F with the word F on it. That's right.
So just to kind of chime in on this one, I think it's important to somewhere in the ebook have Kevin's story in there because Kevin's got a story and his gang life or gang exposure actually has shaped and formed his wisdom. And I think that that the ebook needs to have that. And people who are, I think if your target audience is some youth who are either thinking of getting into gang or are in gangs, want to get out, or they don't have any idea, I think that's who Kevin's targeting. So, the story is very important. His gang life his experience is very important because it'll resonate with those that need to understand that. So I think we need to have the gang in there, and I think what we're talking about here is not perhaps in the title, but there has to be something that attracts people specific to those that he's showing that how to find leadership, how to find power. You don't need to belong in a gang to do that. I think that's the gist of it.
Yes, this is just of it because in the ebook, the only target or the only reason for us to have an ebook is to establish us as authority. So your personal story must be in the ebook. Your personal story must be clear as pinpoint how the transformation happened and what are the happy outcome and what are your program. On every chapter of the ebook or every page of the ebook, you should have a call to action to join your program. At the end, you should have something called what's next or from here where to go, and you basically point people back to your live videos or your online videos or your program. So I believed my discussion was implicitly saying this promotes you, your life story has to be there.
Right. And so one final word on that from me anyways. I know, Kevin, you've been reading the John Maxwell's book, Bold Leadership. And one thing about John Maxwell I did not know when I looked into some of his works is that he was a preacher, a minister.
Yes.
So and that shaped the actual story, but the title did not have any indication that he was that. And I think that's the kind of thing that you might want to consider. Is you want to have a title that attracts people. When they go in there, they see that you've got experience in this area, and then you can actually resonate with people. And I really found, like, if John Maxwell had said lessons from a preacher on how to be a good, how to improve your growth, I would not have picked it up. But if he says this is a leadership for growth, I picked it up, and then I find out he's a preacher that had these experiences and these ambitions. So that's just something for you to consider.
And just to on this particular excellent point from our excellent Shamir here, if you read the background of law of attractions and energies and transformation, you'll see all the leaders in this market used to be in a new age religion before, like 1980s. They were being in the new age. In the new age, the new beliefs. When law of attraction came and people start to deviate to belief systems, they become away from the preaching religion. But however, Deepak Chopra, all of them, they did have a religious related community role before they became thought leaders in the areas of belief systems. And when to approach somebody who is not believing in any beliefs, and here I'm not talking about, I'm not challenging or particularly saying any beliefs is right or wrong. What I'm saying is, if I will stand here and talk about specific belief, I'm actually excluding everybody else from the other beliefs. But when I position it as a leadership course or a leadership book, not from a preacher or not from a Christian, not from a any kind of background, I'm actually opening to the true general. And the same method goes also to Terry Williams, because Terry Williams used to be a football trainer, a football coach. And he said, he's the guy who said, you can do it, just do it. And his other message, all what you can do is what you can do, which means do your best, do it. And if he comes and say from a football coach, will we listen to him? Most likely not, because we are not in a coaching. We have no interest to lead, to get training in football. That's right.
Yeah.
So this is where, as I said, at the end of the day, you pick up 1 or 2 or 3 titles, you send them out, and you see how the public react and how many emails and how many communication you can build. Sandy said streets to the stage. Also, streets to the stage means people who wants to have stage, not to have good relationship.
Yeah.
So if this is your general audience, if your general audience are individuals who will be in the future on the stage or looking at the stage or looking to enhance their position of the stage, is your definition of your general. We are not saying this is right. We are not saying this is wrong. We don't make any judgment. This is how you define where you want to go with your business. And if also she proposed to Kevin, said from the streets that the stage. I don't understand the title. And Kevin, do you understand the Sandy comment?
Yeah, like from the streets of Calgary to public speaking stage, I think.
Yeah, and it was less about stage, because I realized that your goal is leadership. I guess I was just thinking of the phonetics, so the STR to the ST, that kind of thing. So just something that is like, oh, what are you talking about? What? This is like, I would be interested in that. And I'm like, wow, somebody really turned themselves around, and now they're moving into something where they're actually engaging and inspiring people. And
but the question is, will you be interested in joining his workshop training or not? Because you have also to understand it's a very fine line. I've been in workshops and conferences, and we went to this conference when we had this individuals who have really criminal backgrounds, and they've been like spies, and they want to talk about it. And we went there and we paid the extra money, and we got our names off the list for this special private meetings with this particular individuals. There was one in town here about hacking. They brought in the most famous hackers, and they run this workshop, an IT workshop, and you have a sessions now by the hackers themselves. And the hacking sessions were in undisclosed location in Telos Convention Center, undisclosed time, and you can sign up in a very strange process. It was a workshop made by Calgary Economic Development. It was not just a bunch of groups. It was something serious. And they brought these hackers, and they talk about specific techniques, and it's open forum. You can ask them questions. Now, the question is, if you position yourself like that, will people want to buy your training? Are you enhancing your training by showing you as expert? Or people will get to know and say, wow, you are a good man, but I will not be trained by you. And we have a couple of Canadian individuals like that. Sorry? Yeah, go ahead. Okay, so nobody's. So this is one aspect to it. Okay. Just to make sure everybody's having the person their interest served here. Is there anyone else wants to contribute a different title to discuss for their ebook? Okay, so if you don't have any other titles, we go back to the format. So the first page will be the title. The second page will be what are the content of this ebook. So you should be able to consider having introduction, or what is the problem, and then you should have specific chapters. And at the end, I recommend to have what's next, or what can you, how you can let people to join back to your ebook, to your program, sorry.
So in your conclusion of your summary, you're saying draw them back to your program?
Yeah, so you can say what's next.
What's next?
Instead of summary, like what's next, or I'm not sure if somebody can help us with other call to actions, but or how to continue the journey.
Like having a free invite in there for a pre-recorded webinar, or so that they are funneled into the next step, or a ticket or a discount for a ticket to one of the live workshops?
Yes, it's up to you. Like I believe the image which talk about the stages between general to consumer or to customer is the one on the screen right now shared. So between general to lead, you can get their email and their emails. Now from lead to prospects, or from lead to clients, what is your strategy? Do you want to get them into a webinar or a video course? Or would you like them to invite them to be in in-person meeting, or in a phone call? Like Newton, for example, he will give you a phone number and he will schedule a phone call, because he sells about $50,000 program. This is a guy from Do It Marketing. So when he sells a $50,000 to $100,000 program, after you download his book, you get to be a lead. He will show you a video, and if you stay by the video, he will schedule you to become from prospects to, or from client to customer to a phone call. So these transitions, you have to design it in the way you like to design it. What will make sense? Remember, nobody is buying $1,000 plus solutions just online. They must feel you in person. If your solution is 100 to 300 or below $500, you can get them into videos, and in the videos you can structure them in the same way we talk about selling through presentation or through the stage, and then you can get them to the next level. So out of this image, each one of these arrows should be designed by you on the way you want to do it. And I hope I answered your question. Okay.
And then you mentioned final thoughts.
Yeah, you can say final thoughts, or you can say what's next. The idea is at the end, like if I read 5 to 7 to 9 chapter to 10 chapters, whatever you call it, and we did not talk about how long can be each chapter, because when you look at a maximum of 45, or the standard around the market between 8 to 45 pages ebook, if you have 10 chapters, you talk about 4.5 chapters per 4.5 pages per chapter. Okay, 4.5 pages is not. It can be like 10 to 14 different paragraphs. So, at the end of reading all of these chapters, how can you take me next? What you can do? What should I do? Now, it will be very clever if you go in each chapter and say, to read more about this particular topic, click here, or go to a membership website, or watch this particular video. Like, and as you've seen right now, like I pulled out images, like the 3, 7, 30% things. This chart for me have been done more than a year and a half ago. And Marcel can say, maybe Marcel can even remember when this particular chart was made. So when you accumulate all of this material, you can basically add them to your ebook. You say, yeah, for a chart, so one topic I want to discuss today as well, I want to share with you, is what else can you add to leverage the ebook? Like what other resources you can point from the ebook to what you do?
I would like to make one comment before you jump to the next to this topic. You mentioned that before. For whatever document we create in the relationship to our general public, leads and prospects and clients, there always has to be the call to action as the last thing to be, right?
Yes, a call to action is a must. A hook is a must. Call to action is a must. And you have also to understand that one of the common things, if you remember the quadrant model, you should also write your material following the quadrant model, because if you are talking to people in different language, they will not accept it. But call to action is very important, and linking it to your own program, because this was the reason for you, first of all, to have basically a lead magnet or an ebook. And if you go to John Maxwell books or any other thought leader books, you will find inside the books they will have free tickets for their program.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And
this comes back to the example I always talk about. Like people will come to me and say, "Oh, I don't want to write a book. I don't want to do any of this material. I just want to be able to change people's life." You know, the successful ones, they had books. Successful ones, they had the books very well designed to whatever the offers there. So why you want to make it different? So if I can stop sharing this one, and I can share this one here. So this is, if you remember, this is when we talked about how you can make money, or what are the different venues of making money. So books are one, ebooks, blogs, mobile application, audio. I'm reading it clockwise. You can have audio books, you can have podcasts, you can have videos, you can have seminars, you can have workshops, retreats, trade shows, webinar, keynote speaker. You have a program over service, which can be one-on-one, online, or groups. You can also have certification. You can upsell certified. You can have affiliate. You can have a mastermind groups. You can have franchise. You can sell franchisees, and this is we call it the wheel of fortune, where the 12 streams of income you can make. In this wheel, I'm having here a book. I know, for example, my ebook, our awesome Shamir here has this meditations and this breathing techniques. So it will make obvious in his book that I will go and say, and here is the technique, and if you want to follow me up in this technique, go to this particular link. You can watch the videos of the healing of the breathing techniques, or you can listen to the meditation. And what you need in the back is mechanism or tools where you can track all of these transactions from this individual. Because if I'm reading your book, I'm going to watch you through espresso shot or through just breathing techniques practice. It means that I'm very interested. That's right. So I can be prepared to buy a second or a new offer. I will be your new offer. Does it make sense? So the same for Mike. If you have somebody on CRA and you can throw in a free tool for assessment on your website, and whoever sign up for your book is now going to your website. At this level, most likely they are interested. That's right.
Yeah.
So give it some thoughts for what exactly you want to have inside your ebook. What are call to actions? And I know I'm working with a couple of individuals where we actually transform the ebook to audiobook. And we say, like, if you would like to listen to the audio track, you can also download this audio track. Meditation techniques is a good, free assessment is a good, joining my seminar is another example. So it's up to you which one you want to use. Okay.
Hey, Will, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I heard you talk about, put him in the book, talk about the next step. Why put down a funnel?
Can you repeat the question? What do you mean?
Like, let's say, would the next step be I talk about a $10,000 course right away?
No, it would be too expensive to like this ebook is for free. That's right.
Yeah.
So you cannot make jumps more than 10 to 100 times.
Okay.
That's right. This is an ebook.
So next step then would be?
Next step is to watch video, or next step inside each chapter to download or to play meditation. It's function of what you do. Or to have assessment. Like I know Anthony Robbins now, he's using this desk, so he'll give you a free desk assessment. In his new business training system. And a new business training system with desk assessment, they basically get to know how they can manipulate you. And moreover, if you sit and do the test, which will be another 10 minutes, they will know you are really interested.
Okay.
Okay. It's about 10:30 right now, so can we have like 10 minutes break so people can move around, because sitting in front of the camera is too long?
Can I just throw in a marketing thought from a conversion standpoint to the question that Kevin just asked?
Sure, go ahead.
When a person pays you money, however large amount that it is, even if that's why often from a free ebook, a next step often is a $7 or $1, some kind of very low dollar amount. That becomes significant because once they've opened up their wallet, as they say, and given you a credit card number, they've they've changed the relationship with you, and that's a very positive thing, because once they've paid you a little bit, then selling something else more on that process is easier, much easier. And so if they've seen value in your free thing, and then you offer something that has huge value, but it's just $7, that's why you often see a $7 option, or a lot of popular folks, our popular tactic is selling their book for just the shipping, because it's just about $6 or $7 for the shipping. The person's given their credit card number, and they've paid for some kind of service from you, and it's easier to sell them more stuff down the road.
Yeah, we discussed this particular tactic last time, because last Monday workshop was was on books, and we actually went to, if you sell it at $12 with fixed shipping, you can make your $9 profit, because there's a fixing shipping in the US $3 anywhere. So if you charge somebody shipping and handling $12, you make your $9 profit on which is exactly what you can make if you want to sell it as a book from a book store after
Cool.
they get that 40%. So yeah, so we ran through this particular example. So I'm happy you brought it in. Okay, so any final thoughts before we go to a brief break? So I will stop the recording. I will pause the recording. Okay, so welcome back. It's 10:45 right now. I want to share with you to address the last, I believe this is the one here. To address the last question of Kevin about the pricing. So when we had this pricing discussion, and I hope you can see the image in front of you. So can you see it?
Yeah.
Yep. So you have a free report, free ebook, free webinar, free. Then you can get a survey or an access interaction for a little bit of money. And you assume the conversion from the free to this money will be roughly 3%. And then out of this free 3%, you expect to have individuals who can pay you double-digit dollars before they go and pay you the big money. So this is how the funnels will get through. So when you have free giveaways or free ebook or free report, to move them to the next level, you should have, as exactly what Tom was saying, a reasonably priced offer. And from the reasonably offer, you can basically build. So in the higher offer, you can have your workshop, your boot camp, and then you can have your actual program after that. So from a free ebook to a seminar kind of approach at a smaller entry dollars, to a workshop at a higher dollars, to a real program. This is how you can stage maybe 80% of your activities. As you notice in the top here, this jump is not real. Like the jump of when you have the 2 question mark on the jump arrow. And I'm not sure if you can see my pointer or not. Can you see my pointer? So this jump here is not common. It can happen, but it's not as often as the other jumps. And if Tom is around, he can also talk a little bit on this particular staging.
Sure. Well, it's context. It's how sticky is your relationship? How connected are you to your client base and your audience from what you've done before? Ends up being I mean, if you want to push it, how far can you leapfrog forward? To go step by step is predictable, and a more sure and steady wins the race kind of approach. But if you want to bounce forward and ahead to a big ticket item, I mean, go for it. But it'll depend on a number of factors, and that is how connected you are with them, how much they trust you, how much you've been able to create the perceived value of what you're offering. And typically when it's an online situation, the $1,000 or $2,000 bump, if that's, I can't quite read the writing, but where that arrow comes down to that bigger ticket item, that's about the max that you can hit in an online experience. If you want to go larger than that, you'd need to bring in face-to-face live
And this is not
phone
online.
call.
This is just not online. This is just if I have a program where the $4 sign exists, I need to have a smaller offer. $2 exists, $1 sign, and then I can have 1 or 2 free giveaways.
Mm-hmm.
It does not stipulate it's an online. I do have individuals who pay $25,000 to have an online access, but the online include one-on-one similar session, but one-on-one or one to a smaller group. So this is just a funneling strategies. There is no really limitation. It's online or offline. And the black line at the end here, it talks about the offer selling, the upselling kind of approach.
Mm-hmm.
And the funnel will go from so many individuals, and then it will start to crack here when people start to make money, to pay money, because when they pay money, the number of them paying money will become smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And the smaller will be like 1 to 3%. And 3% is not every 100 you get 3, is every 10,000 you get 300. So your 300 might be towards the end of having 10,000 access. So you may run for 1,000 individuals without any purchase, but suddenly in the next 5,000 you will get your 15 individuals. Do you understand, Kevin, how this funnel works?
Yeah, like the basis, yeah.
Yeah, so the basis is there is a mechanism to converge. There is a mechanism to approach, and we talk about 1%, 3%, 0.7%, whatever percentages. These percentages are not made on 100 group. There will be tens of thousands of individuals. And if you look at a speaker or you look at a coach or a trainer who will have 10,000 followers or 10,000 times he puts your ad up, this is considerably a big effort. In my own ads, we had a statistic showed that people after the 16 or 17 times, more than 16 times seeing the same ads, they will sign up. So if you are looking at this online, there are so many other factors to it. Okay.
Is this called the sales funnel?
This is supposed to be called sales funnel if you do sales.
Okay.
But away from the label, it's a mechanism for you to be able to get individuals to buy into your training.
Can I add a couple of thoughts, Kyle? To your question, Kevin, this is more like an escalation path of what your offers are. And each one of those would have its own sales funnel with more detail of the path that a person follows from first exposure, your tripwire or your lead magnet, and then the sales funnel that is kind of the buzzword is a series of web pages that step people through the process to following through on your call to action, whatever the call to action was. If it was to buy something or initially to get your free ebook, that first one is a sales funnel. And like each one of those will have its own set of web pages all built out. And each one would be a separate sales funnel.
Okay. Thanks. website.
So if you are committed to do an ebook, you should go to your what to do list in your notes and just write down this. You plan to do an ebook with the title of what we had today from an ebook. So in your journaling or your notes, what to do. I know when we are in the office, we always have this ebook, this paperwork where we can write what we do next. But if you feel like ebook is irrelevant to what you do, you should consider just writing down. So you start considering putting thoughts inside an ebook. Now, ebook also will require images. And as I said before, we have lots of stock images available to you guys as a group in this program. So you should be able to, if you have specific images in specific areas, either get them from the images stock website and give me the code so I can give you the one without the watermark, or you can just let me know which what title of images and I can send it to you back. Or when you come to the office, you can get these images from me or from the office. One last question. Do you need an ISBN number for your ebook? Do you know what's an ISBN number? So do you need an ISBN number for your ebook?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
You suggested it, and it's free, is it not?
It's I suggested because it's a way for you to protect your content. I know many of the individuals outside doing marketing, they don't, they even put their names on the ebooks, but as Marcel was saying, that the ebook, some of the material, when you copy the paragraphs into a Google search, you get similar content over the internet. So I personally believe that if you have an original content, not copied from anywhere else, you should have an ISBN and you should register it and protect it. It's an ebook. Many marketers will not do this because they will go out and collect different material from other individuals and assemble them in a PDF file, and they call it an ebook, and you basically download the ebook. Okay. Any other thoughts on the ebook kind of discussions before we move on to other topics? Does everybody got his interest satisfied from this to almost 2-hour sessions right now, or is there any outstanding point or questions? Let's go one by one. So Kevin, do you have any other outstanding questions?
No.
Mike, what do you?
No, I'm good.
Tom?
I'm good.
Mariana?
Well, for me, it's I'm working on this e-report, not really an e-book. And so, I had as a title for the landing page, Unlock the Secrets of Your Chakras. But listening to this, it would be better to have 7 ways to feel healthy or happy and healthy from the inside out. And then could I have some, because it's going to be on the landing page, to have things like this report will take all the guesswork out of your chakras, and an easy to understand guide to discover how blocked and misaligned chakras affect your health and happiness. So would that make sense, to have that on the landing page?
Yes, the way to distribute your ebook, it will be through a landing page.
Yeah.
It's no different than a report.
Uh-huh.
It's only give you the right to ask for more information. So usually for a report, you ask for an email. For an ebook, you will ask for a phone or for a name and email. That's right, Tom? So just downloading an ebook is the same as the report. It's nothing different.
No, okay. So and you know, so I don't have anything anything about. I realized that I don't have the three-legged stool with the pain points and the defining moment and the happy outcome. So that really should come in the beginning of the e-report too.
Yes, I recommend that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then you know, I'm still thinking about, because you know, people will have to, for this they will have to come in person until I'm totally convinced I can do it, you know, in surrogation. But I'm thinking about the $17, because you know, I do spend time and the people will come in person.
And all what I say is just try like put it into practice, $17, and see what are the reaction from the audience.
Yeah.
You know, but the beauty of starting with a report, that you can, after the report, people who will not sign up, you can send them an ebook. So
Yeah.
the question is why we don't just do an ebook, because sometimes people we don't know. So when you hit them with a report, you can always go back and hit them with an ebook.
Okay.
Okay. Any thoughts for Mariana? Marcel, and I apologize, Marcel, that she did not get the message. So
Sorry?
I apologize, you did not get the message. I read your text message to me. So
yeah, one idea is, again, with the call to action. If you have a report first, then your ebook could be, the link to the ebook could be the next one, because that qualifies also people, whether they just downloaded something because it was for free, or whether they went to the 2 pages or 3 pages of the report and hit the link again in order to get your ebook for free too. So this could be could be another bait.
yeah, or another qualifier, because the word bait is really harsh, but it can be another qualifier. You can have like a 1-pager, 2-pager report, or like a smaller report, and then you can have an expansion.
Did you just slap my hand?
Sorry?
Did you just slap my hand?
No, I don't mean. You know, we are always looking for words, and it's very very interesting what's the impact of these different words. So anyway, okay. So what's your ebook title will be, Marcel?
For the ebook, it was How to Crush Procrastination in 3 Easy Steps Once and For All.
Okay. Any feedback from the participant or to Marcel ebook title?
Marcel, we need to meet.
Mike, just be aware, this is a pre-launch.
Okay, that's good. So do you have any outstanding?
Procrastinating the launch. Is that what I hear you saying?
Yeah, it's a lunch. It's a lunch, not a launch. It's a lunch. So when I'm coming for the dinners, okay? So any other outstanding?
If you bring some koshery, for sure.
Sure, I will. I actually, you know, I promise you before. Once we'll have it, I will call you to have it fresh. I promised you before. So
just to throw out a suggestion that comes to mind, Marcel, from a copy standpoint, to make that more punchy, that you might use on a landing page is just 3 words: crush procrastination now.
Yeah.
Not necessarily rename your ebook that, but just as some punchy copy for a headline might capture on like a Facebook ad or on a landing page. But it just came to mind, and I wanted to throw it out.
Yeah, it was not very defined, and there is the main title and the subtitle, so there's room to play with. Thanks for the feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Braveen, do you have any outstanding interest we did not cover? Okay. No, he's good for now. Shamir?
Yeah, I have a question about the ISBN numbers. You mentioned last time when we were talking about books, if that that you can create ISBN numbers, but is there a way that individuals can get ISBN numbers? You mentioned it's free. Is that right?
Yeah, for Canadian ISBN numbers for free, are free. So if you want to get your own ISBN numbers, you can register. I can get you the links to the Archive Canada.
Yeah.
And it takes about some time to register. Like it takes about a couple of weeks, I believe.
Okay, because now I'm on that website right now, and they're asking for information on the publication.
Yes.
So you have to have a title and a publication date before they'll let you register as an ISBN with an ISBN account. I guess when you register for an account, you have to have an ebook ready to register, and then it's just a rinse and repeat after that, right?
Yeah. So let me. I appreciate you brought in this. So let me share the screen here. Which
Sure.
is this might be the only advantage of doing it online. Okay, I hate this Zoom because like we don't have a board, but let's just see this. So if you wanna assign an ISBN number, you can assign an ISBN number to an address book, to an audio, to a Blu-ray disc, to a book, CD-ROM, calendar, DVD, diary, digital, electronic book, hardcover book, to a kit, and nobody understands what kit means. Loose leaf, which I don't know what this means. Miscellaneous print, mixed media product, online resources, other audio format, other book format, other digital, other printed item, other video, pamphlet, paperback, poster, street map, or spiral bounded book. What you want to get is a book title. You want to get the projected date and the status. Is it active, cancelled, forthcoming, inactive, no longer our product, out of print, out of stock, independently, postponed, remindered, or unspecified.
Yeah.
And you can put notes, and you can ask them to send you the ISBN. So once they send you an ISBN, this is what you will be able to get. So this is the ISBN for 30 days to win and more, the daily journaling.
Yeah.
So this is the electronic version of it, and this is all what you have.
Okay. So and you're saying it's free completely when we use this?
It's free completely, but you will be identified as a publisher.
Okay. Is that good, bad, or ugly, or neutral?
Each move has its own risk. So if you are publisher, you will be entitled to be asked for taxes. You will be entitled for lawsuits, for so many things.
Entitled, say more a bit about that, please.
Yeah. So for me, I do have it under Stand for Yourself or Win Your Brand, I believe. One of those, and we do have a few of those. So
what you're saying is that if we get an ISBN number under like from you, which you said you have a publisher status, that if my book has content which triggers somebody to engage a lawsuit because they think I've breached copyright or something, the publisher like you are exposed.
Yes.
Okay. So essentially, it wouldn't be wise for you to give us an ISBN number under your...
Yeah, but we have our own liability insurance, so our lawyers can kick in if we choose to. So
okay.
But the point is, this particular number here, these 13 numbers are available.
Right.
And because they are available, you can, as a Canadian, you don't pay money. In the US, you will pay money for like $10, I believe, each, or some kind of dollars. Now, if you understand when I talk about the different formats, so you will see each one of my publications will have multiple multiple, like this, even the sales and the closing deal, the book itself, and then the workbook is different. So each one can have multiple multiple numbers.
Right. So is there a difference in if I don't have if I'm not registered ISBN in US, can I sell my books in US through Amazon.com?
Yeah, you can sell it through Amazon. So you can sell it through Amazon. The only problem we know, if you get your ISBN on Amazon, is if Amazon will disappear or will be acquired by somebody else, like Creative Space, you will be able, you have to redo the whole work. Number two is Amazon. Actually, if you get ISBN from Amazon, you will be able to hit the university libraries or the educational libraries with them. But everybody I talk to, they don't recommend to have Amazon as ISBN publishers.
Okay.
So it's your call. I said, like, at the end of the day, it's just one title. Now, if you have your book forthcoming 3 weeks, 6 weeks before, up to 3 months, you can actually get the Canadian Library to create the library call number for your book.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so there are lots of advantage for a Canadian publisher, which is usually people don't know about it. And I use this program as a forum to bring this knowledge to the table. And if anyone on the call here have a different experience, please go ahead and share it.
Gotcha. Okay, good.
Any other discussions or questions on the ebook?
Nope.
Hey, well, I have to go.
Okay, thank you for joining.
Can I get the recording somehow?
Yeah, the recording will be on the website. And on the website topic, yesterday I launched the... So let's just stop sharing this one. Yesterday I launched the course for the book. So we go back here. Okay. So if you go to Win Your Brand website, under courses, you have the brand mastery, and you should also have Win Your Book 2018, which is under this course. You'll have two things. You have the videos, and you can have the shorts. So you'll be able to see the actual shorts. Shorts and videos will need to be registered. So you do have the registration code. So you'll be able to get the shorts and you'll be able to get the videos. If you have any issues, let me know.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Okay, so
take care, Kevin.
So we are done with the part of the ebook. Now we can have the next half an hour as open forum. If you are stuck in a different areas, let's and you can see help from others. Let's just discuss it as an open forum. Anybody stuck here in where they are working towards their programs? Wow.
No stuck. We're good.
Everybody's good?
I'm good. That's the most important part.
Yeah, I know. I know. Okay, so what are the topics you'd like to spend to discuss it in the next 45 minutes?
I have none. I'm pretty good here for the ebook part anyway.
The other group?
No, I'm good too. I just need some feedback, but I think I need to show you. So I might just have to email you some stuff and you have to look it over.
Sure, please do. Mike, do you have any outstanding or any questions?
No, not really. It's just a matter of moving, and I guess one of the things, ideas that pops in my head is, what should I be working on first? Do I have the priorities right? Like, I mean, should it be A, B, C, and then I start working on B, and I go, well, maybe I should jump to A and start working on A first, so that just to understand the progression of where my energy should be spent.
I would tell you, if your energy is started somewhere, just keep pushing. Don't change the priority.
Okay.
Like, just don't change the current task. So the way I do it is, I will be planning to do a specific task, and when I find out that I should actually do something different, slightly different, so I just complete first the task I'm doing right now, because otherwise I will not spend any priority. So the priority is supposed to be for the program. If you can structure your program first, this will be the best approach to understand what exactly you are offering. And
Okay.
then the books, the ebooks, the public speaking part of it, or like selling from the stage part of it, will be coming as part of this particular program. The problem, if you don't have clear idea about the program, you will not be able to do any of the previous material. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So you should be focusing on the program first.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So, Marcel, is there any where do you stand, Marcel, with your program?
Refining it based on changes in my a little bit in my target market. So I'm playing a little bit around with this. That's a challenge right now. Besides the one client I'm going after right now, the big one.
Okay. Yeah, and we're supposed to connect yesterday. Monday. I didn't send you what you asked me Friday. That's right.
Yeah, but there's no rush right now, so that's about another 4 weeks out.
Wow. Okay. Okay. That's good. That's good. Okay. So Praveen cannot talk. Mike, Marianne. Okay. So the last part is, what are you doing with the journaling, guys? Anybody following up the journaling practice?
It's awkward because I'll bring it to work, and then I'll work from home the next day, so my journal's still in my office. And then I work from home, so I bring it to the home, and and then I don't have it as a reference at my work, so I'm gonna have to get into the habit of putting it in my back pocket or something like that, or creating a string and tying it to a binder. I don't know, and tying it to my wrist.
Yeah, this is one of the common.
I like when I get started, but it's having it with you all the time.
Yeah, but I know it's a different mindset to operate. So not everybody will be able to accommodate to it and adopt it and take it. It's the same for me. Like, I do have in my laptop bag, I do have few hard drives and few equipment just in case, and just in case never came in.
Yeah.
It's always the other cases where the material are in home. That's right.
Yeah, and it's a different switch than what, let's say, Colin Sprague promotes, and that what you do is you kind of drop all your thoughts before you go to bed and set up your next day, so that you're always looking at, what did I accomplish today? What were the positives that came out of today? Whereas yours is more of a business journal, which helps guide you and keep you on track to how you're growing your business and what you need to get done.
Yes, and one of the biggest challenge was other model, because we go also to the speaker club and different places where they only allow positive feedback.
Yeah.
So it's good to have a positive feedback in your life. Excellent to put your morals up, but there is no positive feedbacks in my wallet.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
it's almost like, you know, the journal I find is almost like going back to the day planner I used to carry.
Yes, yes. It's
Always came with me, right? But then
yes.
I'm going back to the pen and paper journaling as opposed to the digital journaling, which I kind of transitioned to years ago.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. For me, I like the paper and the pen approach, and it's always there. I can flip through it. All the studies have been demonstrating right now that this online material is not really effective in engaging compared to the in person. And this is actually a relevant question. Like, did you like this Zoom session, or it was better to be in the office with the flip chart?
I think the fact that you had your notes captured was a great positive. If you could have some, you know, a camera maybe on some live scripting, you know, on your pad as you're creating it too, I mean, would definitely be a positive. But I'm not opposed to Zoom.
Okay.
Except for I can't taste Praveen's donuts then.
Yes, and even we cannot listen to Praveen anymore because he only texts on the chat line. So I don't know.
Yeah, I prefer the in-person sessions. It's okay to do Zoom if, you know, for an exception, but it's you know, I would like to show you something, and then that doesn't work unless I have prepared that in advance. And so
No, as I said, like when I got the emails from Sri saying they will not be able to make it if there is snow in town, so I said, like, you know what, we have the technology and we have the account, so why we don't just use a Zoom service? And as I said, the weather outside is perfectly fine to travel around city. And Marcel actually went to the office and he did not catch the notes.
Oh.
Yeah, so I apologize for him. That's why it just it disturbs me, because I remember I put it everywhere I can. So
yeah, I only saw it on the Facebook group, the family, Win Your Brand family, when I was in front of the office and no car was parked there. There was not one car.
So the family is supposed to send you an email. This is my understanding of the family, because on the family, I had I received an email from it. This is the only group I got email from it. So I made it.
I mean, now that I know, I can look it up before I head out. Then that's fine. But what I don't have is, and maybe I have to switch that. I had not notifications on the phone if a new post is in this group, and maybe I have to double check and switch that.
Okay.
I got mine by email though yesterday.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No, and I checked. So yeah, that one I didn't get. So therefore.
Okay, next time any change, I'll make sure to give you a phone call.
It's fine. Hey, and I could have looked it up, so there's no no bad feelings.
Okay.
It's good, and I logged in right in front of the office and had Zoom on my phone while you guys talked. But I have sent you. It took me a while to get the car out of the garage because the neighbor was stuck there. I was already a little bit late. Yeah, but all good, no problem.
Mariana, you wanna jump in? Okay, so the point of journaling is just, as you said, is a old diary. I believe in the writing, and I believe in the seeing things on paper, because the screen has its own limitation. So if you don't fill your journaling, please do. And if you have questions, just let me know. Okay. And I think we should go through reflections from you guys on the session and conclude a little bit early, so you can all start to work on your books and ebooks, which is the most important part, is to put this information into action, because collecting information from the different sessions without acting on it, it will not be a good thing. And our next event is not coming Monday, the Monday after, which is 10 to 4. So, Mike, you want to reflect first?
One question I had.
Go ahead.
The text, the voice-to-text programmer, who did you find is the best solution to get that done?
Okay. Let me go
Remember what
here.
it's called?
I will give you the exact. The one I use is called voicebase.com.
VoiceBase?
Yeah, BASE. And the way it works, yeah, this is the one.
Okay.
And when you sign up to it, it will give you $60 credit.
Oh, wow.
And I added in the chat information, so it will be attached to the material, which is Zoom.
Perfect. Yeah. Sounds great.
Yeah, when you sign up to it, you'll get like $60, I believe.
Okay.
And you basically, they charge you like 10 cents or 5 cents a minute. And so this will get you through. And their quality is not bad. It's an excellent quality. I'm not sure about anybody else is using voice to text conversation.
I'm familiar with rev.com, rev.com, but I think they're a little more expensive. It's a popular one.
Rev.com. Okay, I added to the list. So does Rev give a free trial, or it's just pay as you go?
I think it's pay as you go. Yeah.
Okay. No, VoiceBase will give you a trial, because VoiceBase, they made their money on a human translations, on a human transcripting, not on a computer transcripting.
Okay.
I also understand that Google, and there is a package by Google, but I couldn't figure out how to use it. And there's also some different software you can get to your laptop and doing it for voice. However, yeah, this is the one I use, is a VoiceBase.
So do you submit? Can you submit a video file too, like an MP4 to them?
Yes. However, it takes because the way it works there is you upload the file.
Right.
So when you have a video file, it will take longer time to upload. But yes, you can.
Okay.
What you cannot do, which I'm not sure why, you cannot give them a link, a video link to YouTube, and they can transcript from it. I don't understand why they cannot do it.
Okay.
Yeah, if you sign, there is an upload, and when you upload, they start to transcript.
Strip out the audio, Mike. If you have an MP, like a video file, there's tools online, and strip out the audio and make the file smaller.
True. Okay.
And it's recommended if you have a podcast. So if you go to any podcast, the body of the podcast is what the Google Play or the players of Apple, the iTunes, will use to index your podcast. So it's recommended if you do podcast. What I do is I go in, I got the text. I don't care much about how readable this text is. I basically put it in my post, and nobody will see it. So this will give me a searchable keyword for iTunes. One more thing, if I also use it for, sometime when we have presentation and we talk, we just got really excited, and we cannot know that if the word came to right.
Yeah.
I use this tool for that. So I put in my talk, I record it, and then I put it on this VoiceBase. And when I get the text back and I read, there's a flow of ideas, not a correct grammar, not a correct sentences. We cannot keep the sentence and the grammar correct all the time, but if you can see, it can recognize the right words. It can give you like 90% accurate. It gives me lots of confidence that my content actually will be understandable by the others.
Okay.
Actually, you can do the same thing also if you more or less dictate into a Google document, whatever that is. There could be a Google Doc, a Google spreadsheet. So you can use the voice on your phone and dictate it in. It is a little bit funny if English is not your first language. if you have a little bit of a distinct accent, then it's sometimes a little bit tricky.
Yes, but however, if you use Google Home, like we have a Google Home, you will give up. Like,
yeah, the Google Assistant and Google Home, I think they learn pretty fast.
I don't know.
I mean,
we had one for 6 months now. It didn't learn anything. Okay. And also, Praveen talk about Dragon and naturally speaking. I remember Dragon. It was an early tool when we didn't have this cloud internet. You download it on your computer and then you talk to your computer and it will dictate what you talk about. I'm not sure about naturally speaking. I did not use it.
I used it in Germany a lot because that was actually in the early stages where it was not perfect by that time. After a while, it learned pretty well. But when I came over here to Canada and used it on with my German accent in English, didn't work for me.
Do you mean your German English in accent? That's right.
My German accent, you can hear if you listen to my English words right now.
Yeah, I know.
Mais on peut parler en français aussi, hein?
Yeah, oui, c'est oui. No, it's a very very interesting, and I know that some of these tools you can actually adapt and train them to your own vocals. So some of these tools, if you will use one, you can basically train it. You can give it. They have some exercise to train. So
yeah, this is what I did. I used my with Google. It's tied to your email account or your Google account. But then I realized when I switched the accounts from personal to business, I had to start all over again. So there's definitely a difference between if I use my speech with my personal account, where there's already quite some learning in there, and the business account. You can see the difference.
Yeah. VoiceBase, it's, as I said, it's a $60 credit when I signed up to it. And when we were very close to consume the whole credit, we actually signed up with another account email. And so you can basically do a few things. And I don't know, it's just you can practice which one you like. Any other questions, Mike, or any other? Do you want to reflect on this session?
No, that's it for me. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have any reflections to do?
Yes. So what I got that from all these categories with the ISBN is that an e-report can have an ISBN too.
Yes, an e-report can have an ISBN too, but you have to recognize the following. If you write if you copy from somebody else more than 300 words, sometimes 50, but 300 words is a good estimate, you cannot take images or figures from somebody else without license, without permission.
Okay.
So there are few limitations which can put you into exposures. So for example, if we get any information from the Crown in Canada will allow us to use it subject that we recognize that these particular figures are copyrighted to the Crown. So if you get Statistics Canada figures, any government-related report figures, you can copy. You read this copyright for the government, which is the Crown in Canada. You will realize that they say you can use it wherever you want to use it. However, you have to say copyrighted to the Queen or government of Canada. There is a specific language. So if you do get this language, it's good. But if you go somewhere and you get an image or a figure you like many of us will do, you are basically exposing yourself for a risk, because sometimes people will not actually get you to, they let you go, they can come after you.
Are you talking about like using a Shutterstock photo where the watermark is still in there?
Yeah,
and before that you've seen that.
Yeah, when I dealt with the trademark and the copyright, we always go back to the marketer and say why the professional marketer will not copyright anything, because basically they copy it from somebody else, and none of the original are actually copyright. They own the copyright. Yeah, but you can actually, there's something called the kit, and the kit means it's an open definition. If you read the actual act, it's an open definition. So
with the pictures that I have about the chakras, so they would fall in that category that you're talking about.
As long as you did not create them, or somebody will draw them, or you don't have a license to use them. So that's why, like, it's good to have. However, you have to be careful, because we don't want to step into an area which can cause trouble in the future. Even the definition of the chakras, like if somebody has a definition already ISBN in a book, you have to go back and confirm it's a common knowledge. And I know we are not in a position to ask for lawyers' opinion about this, so we just trying to avoid. I'm not here to qualifying to give you any legal advice. However, we're just trying to avoid sticky areas. So if you create a report from scratch and nothing else is used from anywhere, you should protect it. So if somebody else will use it, you can stop them. And the part of the protection, you send the 2 copies to the Library and Archive Canada. And Mike, I noticed Mike put the actual URL for them as well. So how to create accounts there. Okay. Any other reflections you want to do on the session today? Was it good for you, Mariana?
Yeah, like just every time I add some more knowledge, and working on this whole landing page report, and they're finding areas that I'm missing and that I have to add. So it's good. It's going deeper.
That's great.
And in a way, it's like, my God, I want to get it out, but it has to be right too, right? I'm not a perfectionist, but it has to be. It has to do the job. So
yeah, my rule is good enough to pass the line, and I define the line. So, and the line is mine. So if it's good enough to pass the line of judgment for me, I'm happy with it. So, okay, let me know. Send me the information you want to send. You want to do for me. My schedule next week, except Monday morning, my schedule is quite flexible. So, if you guys need me, any one-on-one opinion or any feedback, just email them to me, and I will be more than happy to get back to
you. Because Willem my husband is working on doing a lot of things. We might just have to stop in.
Sure, but let me know if you want to stop in by the office, because I want to make sure I am in the office. Okay. Because as you can tell, I have another office here, which is also very active. So. Yeah, I can show you how active is my office. So this is how active is my parts of life. Okay. So I'm also active here. So
I closed my door so you couldn't see it.
Okay, Marcel, do you have any reflection on today?
I think it worked out well on Zoom. I think Mariana is right. There's a little bit more flow if we're in the room and we can move stuff across the table, and personal interaction is a little bit better, because I had something else running in the background, and my wife is on Skype right now. This is why I put the photo up and not the video, because otherwise you could have seen my hoodie too. Seems to be hoodie day today. So yeah, I think it was good to do it as a Zoom session, and we can repeat that when it's necessary or more convenient for all of us together.
Actually, one of the new development I would like to do is I would like to have, like, we meet every other Monday, every other Saturday. So I would like to throw in like couple of hours on 2 different days in the week, where it will be a free session, ask question and answer free session. So if anybody will be stuck, I will have the Zoom on, and you don't have to come, but if you want to come, you can be asking questions, and maybe it can be like Wednesday or Thursday every week, like for 2 hours. So, or 2 days, like Wednesdays and Thursdays. So if people having busy on Wednesdays, they can catch Thursday, or vice versa. So you can also, because the goal is to put material into action, so you can come up with your product and you'll be able to sell and make money out of it. So, okay. So Tom, what's your reactions? What's your reflections? Thank you, Marcel.
No,
Yeah,
go ahead, Marcel.
I was just going to comment. You're lowering every single barrier which is in the way to putting the stuff you teach us into actions. I really love this with another opportunity not to have a reason to proceed. Pretty cool. Just wanted to make that comment.
Oh, thank you. Because, for me, I have and you know more about me than anybody else in this room, in this even virtual room, because we have been around for so long now. For me, I have all kind of reasons every day not to do anything. But I wake up in the morning, and I push myself out of my comfort zone, and I get things to be done. Like Shamir, when he was in my office the other day, and we were working together on a couple of things, we came up with a new book for me, and we came up with a potential new program, and we can talk about collaboration. So I believe in the stimulation of others to push us, because all of us are the same top level. All of us are very similar, doing the same activity, not competing, very open, very feeling more comfort to explain what we do and to get feedback and to practice them. I believe we can achieve a lot. And I know when we go back to our regular life, it's a life. Like I hear the noise upstairs, so I know that my life is awake now. And he wants to come to go to the movie today, and he wants to go to play with his friends, and she wants to go shopping. I know this life. And I know the minute I will close this session and go upstairs, I will have a second life. So I'm trying to, from my side, to open up so people can take actions. I appreciate your comments. Yeah. Thank you, Marcel. So Tom, can you reflect on this session?
Sure. No, good. I learned a number of things, which was great, and inspired by the group of entrepreneurs here. I'm always energized by that, because each of us have our own goals and dreams and stuff, and but we often work solo, and so creating a bit of an ecosystem here and connecting with others is inspiring. And as Mariana was saying, there's just so much to do, and it's like, yeah, there is, and just knowing there's others grinding away at it is good, because we can kind of buoy each other up and encourage each other, and just realize, yeah, there's someone else slugging away, and there's a lot of moving parts to piece together, and it's not going to happen by itself. You got to dig into it and just do the work and make it happen, and knowing there's other folks grinding away as well is fun. It's good. So this is great. And then the Zoom interface is, I've been on a number of Zoom calls, and it's a little bit of an extra effort as a participant to pay attention and engage, because it's a bit of a distance thing with not as well connected. Live is great, is kind of preferred, but it works as needed. So it's cool to be able to even connect and do this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I agree with you. And to be honest, like some of the slides, like what I did last time is I took an image on my phone of all the shorts I made for the last 3 years. So I have a library of like 4,000 shorts on my laptop. This is where I was able to, I need to talk about this topic. I will go down and bring these images back because I know in which context. Yeah, go ahead, Marcel.
Yeah, so that's actually on the Zoom session, and I think this even might work better than just have a whiteboard like the drawing board online, because we have experienced those flip charts, and I think this is like putting those really into our heads.
Yeah, and I believe if you want to use the online, you need to buy the pad.
Need to buy what?
The pad. I know. I notice Mike is sharing something here. You need to buy the pad. You need to. There is a writing pad that you can use. So if you plan to use the whiteboard or the online writing board, you should figure out a pen and pad so you can write on your hands, and the things will come to your computer. Or if you have a touch screen, you can use it with a touch screen.
What app do you use, Mike?
What's that?
What app do you use for that?
For what? Well, I just, in our conversation, I looked at Google Docs and I just said enable voice, and I was just letting it feed off of whatever was coming across the camera. So it was kind of neat. And it wasn't bad. You know, some of it was a little sloppy, but at least it was grabbing it and converting it as we were going along. So it's just proof that, you know, there are some tools, no cost to start, you know, moving forward.
So how do you enable the Google Doc? Because I'm not familiar with Google Doc.
You know what? Neither was I. I just went into because I have a Google Plus account. I pulled up Google Doc.
Okay.
And then here, right at the top here, it says under Tools. So I opened up a blank document.
Yeah.
File, New, Document. And now I go under Google Tools. It says Voice Typing. Click to speak. Okay, here we go. This is how easy it was to start getting going, and now it's starting to input all of my words, and I can save the document afterwards and format it myself without having to send it offline to any other party to do it for me.
Wow.
I was going to suggest that of just dictating, depending on what your source is.
Period, new line.
Just dictate.
But Google Plus account, you have to pay money for this, right?
No, it's free.
A Google Plus account is free? Okay.
Yeah, it's free, yeah.
I use the dictation tool on my iPhone straight into Evernote. So Evernote is the environment I use, and I'll open a doc, and I'll just create documents while I speak.
Yeah, that's the other one.
Okay, wow, that's neat. At least the beauty of this tool is we can get to access to see this particular and tutorial as well. So thank you, Mike, for sharing that, and thank you, Tom, for the feedback. Now, Shamir is our. Can you reflect on today's session?
No, I thought it was wonderful.
No,
it's
you
just
cannot reflect. Come on, man.
Oh, we reflect?
Oh, yeah.
I cannot reflect?
I asked you, can you reflect? He said no. Okay.
Yeah, of course I can reflect. No, it was wonderful. It was, you know, I didn't mind the Zoom session as much. I mean, you know, the one-on-one the in-person interactions, of course, always wonderful, and it may create a richer level of conversation. But you know, if we do Zoom, it works for me so as well. So either or works for me. So thank you for this, trying it out at least.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, so I appreciate if last discussions or if you don't have any questions, I really appreciate the challenge of getting into Zoom, and we are like closing like 10 minutes before, and unfortunately we will not have another couple of hours hanging around the office to ask questions. And as I said, if you access me, you can either text me or call me or email me. And just on a quick note, so I want to stop the recording.
Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.